So we mentioned how the Cardinals have the Lions coming to town next week and how I just don't flat care because both teams stink. But I have also mentioned over the last month and have held up this book from Mitch Albom, The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. Mitch Albom's one of those people that through the years I've read his books and I've watched him on the Sports Reporters when they were on live. You can find them online. There's a lot more to Mitch Albom than just talking sports, which I like a great deal. We wanted to have Mitch on, not just a little bit about the Lions, and I mean really a little bit, but also some of the books that he's written along with The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. With Christmas right around the corner, you see it there on the screen. That is one that you should get and is must-read reading with Tuesdays with Maury, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and so on and so forth. So here's the best-selling novelist, Mitch Albom. Mitch, it's Brad. How are you?
Hi, Brad. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's go through the book first and foremost because I'm just far more interested in that than the Lions and Cardinals. So
yeah,
the next person.
Me too.
Yeah, right. Sure, we'll keep that one short. The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. Okay, so why are your books? This is a very open-ended, benign question, but I don't think there's any other way to put it. Why are your books so dang popular, Mitch?
Well, you're probably asking the wrong person. I just am grateful. I know that Tuesdays with Maury became popular, I believe, because of the wisdom that Maury brought to it, not anything having to do with my writing. And I think that brought my name to a fairly big stage. And I've tried to sort of encapsulate some piece of wisdom that Maury imparted to me during those years in all the books that I wrote consequently. And perhaps readers find some connections to those things, and I try to write about themes that matter to people.
Uncle Eddie. Without Uncle Eddie, there's no book here, right?
There's no 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and there's no The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. He was a real-life person, World War II veteran, grizzled guy, kind of talked like Popeye, and never thought that he mattered in life, which always broke my heart. He always thought he was a nobody. And I wrote The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, my first novel, inspired by him. There's a character named Eddie, looks like him, talks like him, fought in World War II like he did, and he dies when he's 83 years old, saving a little girl from an amusement park accident. He pushes her out of the way from a falling cart, and he dies and she doesn't. And he goes to heaven and meets these 5 people from his life who show him that this very insignificant life that he thought he led was actually very significant and touched many people. He just didn't realize it. And that was kind of the essence of the book, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and my message sort of to my Uncle Eddie. The Next Person You Meet in Heaven, which is a sequel to that, which has just come out, also has Uncle Eddie making another appearance, only this time he's one of 5 people for someone else, in this case the little girl that he saved all those years ago.
It is on the New York Times bestseller list. It is a definite pickup for Christmas. Mitch Albom, The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. Port-au-Prince is tied to you in a very personal sort of way, away from the book. Tell me about that a little bit, Mitch.
I have an orphanage in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, that I've been operating since 2010, right after the earthquake. We have 47 children there. I'm there every month. For 3 or 4 days and running things, administering. We have a great staff, of course, and our 47 kids are being raised there. And my oldest 2 are actually in college in America right now on scholarship, and it's my goal to get all 47 of them through the same system and then back into Haiti to improve their country.
Why Haiti for you? Was it what you saw?
I have no connection to Haiti prior to 2010 and every connection to Haiti afterwards. I was there a couple weeks after the earthquake. I was one of the first civilian groups to go in there that wasn't attached to a relief agency. And what I saw will always stay with me. And the children that I saw there who were left abandoned and with nobody in their lives just never left my head or my heart. And, we've taken in since from many more children, not just from the earthquake, but from the hurricanes that ravaged Haiti a couple of years ago out in Jeremy and other natural disasters, and just kids born into such abject poverty, there's nobody to take care of them. But those kids are like my family at this age, and I'm happy and blessed to be able to raise them.
And you do work down there, like boots on the ground with your own hands. This isn't writing a check, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I wish it was. The checks get written too, but no, I'm doing everything from mopping the floors to putting the kids to bed at night, and I personally admitted all the 47 of them. I can speak Creole now, and we find the kids who are most needy, and we take care of them. We educate them. We run a school. We run a kitchen. All the kids sleep there. We don't adopt any of these kids out. They're just raised there, and. Yeah, I laugh at the idea that write a check. I sleep with the kids. I have a room there. It's my second home.
Yeah, you know how it is in the industry where people will say, "Oh, yeah, they just write a check and they call it a day." No, I've heard you're right there in the middle of it, getting dirty and nails dirty and all that every day, which is great. Will that lead to a book? Do you think, or a movie?
Well. It actually is leading to a book, but in a way I wish it didn't have to. One of our kids, a little girl named Chica, a few years ago developed a brain tumor at the age of 5, and we brought her to America, and we basically adopted her as our own daughter, my wife and I, and tried to save her. And she was supposed to die within 4 months. This is a terrible thing called DIPG, which nobody survives. But we fought, and she fought, and she lived 2 years, and which is really, really long time. And she changed our lives inexorably, to become a father at my age, in my 50s, of a 5-year-old girl from Haiti is pretty life-changing and really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so I am in the process, actually, of writing a book about her. Her name is Chica, and the book's called The Summer of Chica because every day with her was like summertime, even though she was dying from her brain tumor. And so, there'll be a book, and then through it I'll talk about the experience in Haiti and all that, but it's one I probably wish I never had to write.
And if you pick up The Next Person You Meet in Heaven, Mitch writes about Chica as the very first page that you open up. Just a little note there on the front end of it. Were there tears when you wrote The Next Person You Meet in Heaven? When I read through it, there's times where I get choked up. As the writer, do you get emotional?
I actually do, and I find that if I don't, I'm not doing something right. If I could just read these types of things about love and loss and forgiveness and important themes, and just sit there without any passion to it, they're just words to me, then I shouldn't be writing about it.
Yeah.
So there are times where I can kind of get a gulp and I swallow funny, or I get a little thing in my stomach reading the words that I wrote, and much of it, of course, comes from my personal life. There's a moment in the book where Annie, who is the girl who was saved at the amusement park, and now she's the center of the story, and she's in heaven meeting 5 people, who she confronts a child that she lost when she was, died in childbirth, essentially. And that was taken straight from my own, having to face the mortality of our little girl when she passed away. And if you can't get choked up writing about that in your own experience, you probably shouldn't be writing books like this.
Yeah. Who do you, a couple other questions, I'll let you go, Mitch. I appreciate the time. The name of the book is The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. Who do you lean on that looks you in the eye and says, this is really good, or this needs a little bit more work, or is it just you?
Well, I do have an editor, a very good editor, who will definitely tell me that and all of those things. And my wife tends to be a real good sounding board. I tend to read her my books out loud. She doesn't like to read them. She wants me to read them to her, and she sits behind me when I read them, so I can't see if there's a look on her face that I don't want to see. And then afterwards, she'll be very honest with me. And between those two, I have pretty good sounding boards. And then before it comes out and before I'm finished with it, I let a lot of different people read it and get their reactions to it.
That's great. That's great. All right, I'm going to make the transition over to the Cardinals and Lions very short. What is going on in Detroit? Because I know what's going on out here, and it's not good. What is going on in Detroit from your view?
Well, you're tempted to say same old Lions because this type of mediocrity or less than mediocrity has been going on for better part of 50 years or more, 60. But we have a new coach, so it shouldn't be same old anything. They brought in a new coach from the Patriots, Matt Patricia, who was a defensive guy. But like many other people who tried to rob Bill Belichick of his mojo, you realize it stays inside Bill Belichick. It doesn't travel. And so he didn't come in and transition anything here except to sort of shake up the way things are done. They should have had enough talent to win more games than they're winning. They've had some bad injuries along the way, but they've just had some really bad play, too. And this year, uncharacteristically, a few times from Matthew Stafford, who's been pretty good throughout all this mediocrity. He's been the one shining star, but he's had off games as well. And, some have said that it's just a transition to a new coach and a new system, and it's going to take time. Others have said a lot of players don't like this new coach. Whatever it is, there have been a lot of games that they don't even look like they're showing up for, and that's inexcusable to me. So right now they're sitting at 4-7, I think, and season's over as far as playoffs are concerned. But we'll see if they can try to find pride in better performances as they go on.
One other question on that: Matthew Stafford and what he is being paid, is he worth it from your view?
Well, you can't equate money in quarterbacks at the NFL because you have to pay quarterbacks a certain amount of money in order for them not to leave. And that doesn't mean that they're worth it. It just means that you've invested a lot of time with them, developed systems around them, and so they may be worth more to you than somebody else out there. I think it's safer to say for that money he needs to lead more. And not just put out good statistical performances, and I think he'd be the first person to tell you he does. He doesn't shy away from taking responsibility for things.
You like him, Mitch?
I do. Oh, yeah. As a person, he's fantastic. He's great in the community. He's honest. He never ducks reporters. He never blames anybody. If anything, he takes too much stuff on himself. You'll see a receiver clearly mess up a route, and you'll ask him about it after the game. He'll say, well, that's got to be on me to make that route clearer to the receiver so he knows where to go, instead of saying the guy ran the wrong way. You'd almost like him to point a finger, but he never does that. He's a great teammate. He's rock solid. He doesn't miss games. I mean, I don't know how many he's played in consecutively, but it's some kind of record for the Lions. So, yes, he's quite a good guy. There's no complaints there. I just wish that he could perform a little better in certain key situations.
Appreciate the time, Mitch. The book was great. The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. Mitch Albom, thanks for the visit.
Thank you very much.
Here's Mitch Albom with us. Appreciate his time. Sports360az.com. I'm Brad Sussmat.